Well, it's Christmas season again, and it's all merry and jolly and festivities. But what about the darker side to Christmas? And something that's probably been swept under the carpet for a while. But he's been around for centuries. And that, you could say, is the Christmas devil, Krampus. Heard of him? Well, let me introduce you. And welcome back to the Brac Shop, the portal to the paranormal, the spiritual, and the unexplained. And I'm Tom from the shop. And Merry Christmas. It's that time of year again. And for those of you who hate Christmas, don't like Christmas, this might be an episode for you. Now, we all know Christmas is a time of merriment and joy and festivities. And it's all jolly, jolly, jolly. But there is a darker side to Christmas. And for a while, it was swept under the carpet, so to speak. And that let me introduce you to Krampus, the Christmas devil, as he's sometimes known. Now, who is Krampus? What is Krampus? Well, he's almost a mythological creature because he goes back to pagan times. He's usually brown or black, and he's half goat, half human. And he's got hooves, he's got horns, a bit like a goat, and he's got this long tongue that goes on forever, it seems. And that is Krampus, the Christmas devil. And he's been around since pagan times, around the Alpine regions of Switzerland and Austria. So I suppose with all the snow, it's quite a fitting environment for him. And with mountains, so he could probably climb them quite easily with his goat legs. Now, he is half human and half goat. And don't forget, if you like this episode, click the like button, tell your friends and share it and subscribe, and click the bell and the notification button as well, so you won't miss out on my other various episodes. Now, getting back to Krampus. Where did he come from? Well, he's been around for a while, and as I said, around the Swiss and Austrian mountain regions, where it would snow around Christmas time, and that's when he was. Now, over time, he has evolved. In fact, I suppose you could say he's older than St.Nick, because St.Nick started as part of Christianity, and he was a bishop in Turkey that was very generous, very good, did a lot of good, saving children and people, being quite generous as well, as I've mentioned in a few of my other different episodes, like saving 3 girls from being sold by providing enough money to the fathers so he didn't have to sell his daughters, and finding 3 boys that were pickled by a butcher and resurrecting them. Certain little things by St. Nick, doing little good things. Now, and he dates back to about the 1200s in Turkey. But Krampus, he's been around a lot longer, and he's always been celebrated by the Germanic groups around the Alpine region. Now, over the years with Christianity, he ended up being tied up with St. Nick. And the story would be that St. Nick would go around and visit the different families, and Krampus would come along. It'd be like his helper, and it would be like the good and the bad. And St. Nicholas would reward good children with toys and gifts, probably back then sweets and food. And with Krampus, if the kids were bad, he'd actually beat them, because Krampus would actually wear chains, he would hand out coal or even sticks of birch wood if they've been bad, and he would also beat the children, and on worst case scenarios, he would actually take them away with him. to the underworld. Now, it's quite scary, quite frightening, but you know what? I remember hearing parents saying, oh, just take my kids away. So, might not be a bad thing having Krampus around but psychologically speaking, it can be quite damaging on children. It's a bit like referencing the boogeyman or the bad man will come and get you, which for parents, you really have to be careful with young, vulnerable children because they can take it to a different extent and they grow up with a fear of someone going to attack them. And going back to manifesting, you could be putting something into a child's subconscious, which is why, unfortunately, a lot of children do go missing sometimes because they may have attracted that. So do be careful. A little footnote there. But getting back to Krampus, that was an idea that they would take bad children away. So children would be good. Now, St. Nicholas again, he has his day, St. Nicholas Day, celebrated on the 6th of December. But apparently, the night before, that is Krampusnacht. And that is when they will actually have parades and festivities remembering Krampus. And they would actually go out and celebrate and have parades even. And in the past, in around those towns, it was a bit like Christmas, where they would have Krampusnacht. And the next day, the children would wake up and see whether they've been good or bad, because they either get presents in their stockings, or maybe a piece of coal, or some birch wood, that they've been bad and they didn't get any presents. Fortunately, they didn't get taken to the underworld. And today you can even still see the celebrations that still take place around those areas. However, back in 1932, the Austrian government actually outlawed the Krampus tradition. You couldn't do any parades or anything like that. However, it didn't actually catch on because back then the communication wasn't as advanced as it is today, and so the word didn't actually get out to everyone because a lot of the towns were up in the mountains and quite hilly, and so they sort of like kept it going over the years. Even Nazi Germany outlawed Krampus, and Krampus virtually died away through the second half of the 20th century. However, in the last few years, with Hollywood having films about Krampus and stories about Krampus, Krampus is beginning to come back into vogue again. So, there you go. What do you think of Krampus? He's just like, sounds like he's just like another character from, or like all the other characters from Halloween that we all get to end up embracing and loving. Not so much as being scared of them. And as for Krampus, I think you only have to be scared of him if you've done bad. So what do you think? Have you had any stories of Krampus? And maybe, depending on what life's like, maybe I'll pop her over to the Alpine region in Bavaria. Maybe have a look at one of those Krampus parades and bring it to you for next year. What do you think? Write your comments below and let me know what you think of that idea. And as I've said before, if you've enjoyed this episode, please press the like button and tell your friends and share it. And also press the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber as yet. And please press the bell and the notifications. And that way you definitely won't miss out on my other episodes. And since it's Christmas, and actually this is available for any time of the year if you're happening to be watching this, I have just released a book on manifesting on Amazon, and you can get it from your local Amazon store. And it's just in time for the last minute present. So that's a thought, and please write a nice, good comment as well. It'd be very appreciative. It's got all the different techniques on manifesting. It's got my experiences and what I do as well sometimes. And just think of it as maybe you can have a great new year coming up. Put that out there and just let it happen. And don't forget, buy me a drink if you like this episode as well. It's appreciated by me and the channel. And do have a look at the other links below, because we are affiliated with the UK's #1 online spiritual shop, which are quite reasonably priced, reasonable worldwide shipping, and 10% off your first order. So do have a look at our other links below. So, on saying that, since it's the Christmas season, I hope you've been good, so you don't head off with Krampus, and I hope you get lots of presents. And overall, I just wish you a very Merry Christmas, because it makes you happy, raises your vibrational state, and makes it easier to attract and manifest things. So until then, have a good Christmas, and stay well and happy, and have a good new year.